Hey, E110 students, it's our fifth and final week, so congratulations for getting this far. You're continuing your research paper work this week, and you have a few other smaller things to do, but really you're working on that big paper. The reason that this essay has the name of the researched paper rather than research paper is that you're not just simply conducting research and reporting on it. Rather, as you're coming to understand, you're really taking a position and entering the academic conversation about the topic you choose. So the research is informing your work, but you're also doing some of that synthesizing that you did in essay number 2. So definitely be letting me know via email if you have any questions this week. I'm sure you've noticed there's no more discussion posts as you're focusing your energy on the researched paper. Today, though, you are taking a quiz on commas and pronouns. Those are some errors that I found that a lot of students tend to make, and ones that are fairly easily fixable and ones that really can help strengthen and clarify your writing. So I created another narrated PowerPoint that's under files that you should review before the quiz. I do need to grade this quiz manually, so I'll have to let you know if it's one that you need to retake. If you don't hear from me, then you don't need to retake it. And if you do hear from me, you'll be able to see little comments about why you got the ones wrong that you did. So when you retake it, hopefully you can address those mistakes. And again, you have to get a 90% or better. So this year in winter session, finals are on Saturday, so that's when you're turning in your final course reflection, but you can, of course, submit things earlier if you'd like. As I mentioned briefly last week, you don't have to have a full 8 to 10 page draft for that research paper rough draft this week, but the more you have, the more feedback you're going to get from me and from your peer reviewers. I want to highlight that it's important that you submit that rough draft in the correct place. It needs to go in the researched paper rough draft assignment. Otherwise, your peer reviewers won't get it. And it's really important that you submit it there on time and in the right place so that they have the most time that they can, because we are moving so quickly this week. We want to have enough time to give you helpful feedback. When you do that peer review for your other classmates, you're going to use a check sheet, and I attach that to the peer review assignment description. I'm also going to link it on Wednesday's announcement, the day that you're doing the peer reviews, but make sure that you're filling out that check sheet for each of your 2 partners and answering questions there, as well as making comments on the essay itself if you'd like to do that, as people have been doing for our first 2 peer review and comments. So last week, your readings all really related to this paper. AB Chapter 10 taught you all about argument, and as we said, you're doing more than just a classical argument in the researched paper, but I think you're incorporating lots of those kinds of elements as you're taking a stand on your position. And the framework that's in the AB book in Chapter 10, that's on page 216, could be a good template for organizing your researched paper, starting with your second strongest argument, giving more reasons, addressing counter arguments, and finishing with your very strongest point. And I think the strategies for finding an issue that are discussed in Chapter 10, and then the ideas in Chapter 7 about posing problems and exploring possible positions really can be helpful in your initial stages of drafting. So let's take a look at the objectives for this week. You will find incorrect commas places and pronoun reference errors and correctly use commas after introductory elements such as phrases and clauses. You're going to show your mastery of that through the quiz. You'll complete your rough draft of the researched paper, provide feedback to 2 peers, integrate that feedback from your peers and the instructor to revise your essay, finish your research paper, and finally reflect on your learning in this class. So there's still a lot of work ahead of you, but you can do it. Let me know if you've got questions along any step of the way, and I'm looking forward to reading your rough drafts this week. Thanks.